All right, welcome to our team call, everyone. It is September 9th. Hard to believe we're on week 4 already of our 90-day action plan. So I hope you guys are, really working in your plan and getting in here every day, adding people to your list, really working on connecting with people. And this week's topic is all about retention and rank advancing people once you get people on board. And so obviously we're going to be connecting every week. We're going to be adding people's names to our list every week. We're going to be working on enrolling even when there's no specials going on, because the bottom line is there's always specials going on, guys, with the free shipping now, free enrollment with certain packs. There's always specials going on. And honestly, if we had to pay full price retail for these products, it'd be worth it, right? It'd be absolutely worth it. So don't wait for specials to really get people excited about getting started with us. So hopefully you guys watched today's live video with John Rains and Tanis Heron. And for those of you that were at Celebration, you'll remember she was the woman, the Indigenous woman that Kathy Coover was so excited about. And I shared on our mastermind call today, I was at a pre-celebration meeting with John Maxwell with Tyler and Kelly Dickerhoof's team, and Kathy was there, and she came up. I was talking to Travis Garza, and she came up to us talking about this Tanis Heron, and she's, I think, personally enrolled by Susan Sly, or she's in Susan Sly's organization, and Susan did an incentive. And for this Tanis and a few of her team members, it was the first time they've ever been in a spa or had a massage. And she was in tears telling Travis and I about it. So it was just a beautiful thing to experience. And so how many of you guys listened to the Tanis video today? Several of you guys. All right. So I am, again, I'm not here to repeat everything that was there. If you didn't get to watch it, I did post it in ISA for Wealth. So check it out there. One of the best things I thought she shared was something, I'll be honest with you guys, I have not done this, and I loved it. Definitely for people in the beginning of their journeys, where she'll say to them, Brenda, I know you're brand new getting started, but why don't you give me a list of 20 names of people that you think might want to do this with you, and I'll message them for you. And the reason she does that is so that they don't have to hear any no's or rejections up front. She kind of takes care of that for them. And I know a lot of you are probably like, oh, who has time for that? But it clearly is working for her and her team. They're in massive, massive growth. So if maybe it's time to do something a little different in your business, maybe take a look at that, listen to that training, and that might be something you want to implement. So a couple quick things I'm going to talk about first, and then I'm going to be having Allison Lindstrom come on tonight. She was at a phenomenal training this weekend. She was all excited about and learned some great new Instagram things I wanted her to share with you, because I think it will help all of you as well. But a couple quick things. Be sure you guys are going in your back office and looking at all of the updated events that are the associate run events, because there are Super Saturdays all over the country in the next couple of months. And a lot of doctors and scientists and corporate people are flying out to these events. I know I tried to get Dr. Plant for mine. He's going to be in Boston on November 2nd. I know he's coming to Philadelphia, so a lot of our Pennsylvania people are so fired up. I wish I could get to that one. I saw Megan's all excited. So watch the events that are coming up in your back office. And guys, typically they're like $20. Super cheap for a great day of training, and so worth it. I'm going to be in Michigan this Saturday, in Fenton, Michigan, if anyone is near there. I know I'll see Lisa Shesterkin, but if any other of you are close to that event, I'd love to see you guys there. Tyler and I both are doing, we're closing out that event together. And then mine is, it's up and posted November 2nd. I do get people that drive to mine, you guys, so don't be afraid if you want to come. I've had people from Philadelphia, Connecticut, Michigan, all over come to our event, Indiana. So we'd love to have you. We're doing a big event with PK Smith the night before. It's going to be his new signature training, which is going to be outstanding. And then the Super Saturday will be the very next day. And then for our team, we're having a fun party afterwards. So I'll keep you guys posted about that. So make sure you're signing up and looking at the updated events and getting to them. And more importantly, I'm a broken record with this. Don't go alone. Get your car full of people, guys, and bring people with you, because there is nothing on this earth that will grow your business quicker than getting people to events with you. Trust me on this one. It's proven statistically over and over again. I've seen it in our own team. Go and get people to go with you. UIA in Washington, D.C., there's not a ton of us going to that event, you guys. And I actually reached out to David Wood and asked him if he would get on a call for our team and tell you why you should be there, because I love this event so much. I used to go to it once or twice a year in the very beginning, and I haven't been the last couple of years. I've always had something like homecoming or something big going on, and I've had to miss it, but I'm going this year. And what I'm excited about is he's always changing it up. But for those of you that maybe want to be a little more comfortable in sharing your 30-second story and learning how to share, you share, they share, just getting more comfortable talking to people. This is the perfect event to help you get out of your comfort zone. I brought my husband to this event. He knew what he was getting into, but he was very nervous and apprehensive about it. And he'll say to this day, it was one of his favorite events. It really got him to get out of his comfort zone. And we met very, very dear friends of ours, the Maples, that we would never have known had we not been put together in groups having to talk to each other. So try to get to UIA, you guys, if you can, and really be talking it up to your team as well. I'd really love to see those numbers going up. That's such a valuable event. And David Woods has not been at our big core events in a while, in a couple of years. So if you're newer and you have not experienced David Woods, oh, guys, he is one of the absolute best corporate trainers that we have. So do yourself a favor and get to that event. All right, couple quick things I want to share with you about retention and rank advancing. Hopefully, you guys have opted into the 90-day email that I'm doing. I think we have about 86 people who are getting that every week. Last week, we had a little bit of a glitch. So if you got 2 today, that's because we fixed the glitch from last week. So only a couple of you, I think 3 people got it last week for some reason. So it's a new software for me. We're really learning it and trying to get all the glitches out. So we should be good and up to date now. So today I sent some information on retention. And one of the best things I know to help you with retention, and so that you're not seeing zeros in your back office when you look at your personally enrolled people, is the Isobody Challenge. And again, I'm a broken record on this, but you guys, I talk to every single person I enroll about this challenge. I try to get them to enroll in the challenge the very day they enroll, so that first order counts towards their 500 BV. And I know statistically, if they do and complete this Isobody Challenge, we know their order baskets are going to go up. They're going to keep ordering because they want that $200 voucher. And if they do it for 3 months and get $200, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to stay on the program. They're going to do another Isobody Challenge. So that's the behavior you really want to see and you really want to reward, because we want happy customers that stay on the products week after week, month after month, and they keep coming back. So that is one of my best things for retention. The other thing is really being a great coach. Coach your people. Do a lot of what Tanis talked about today. She's a great coach. She doesn't allow them to open their box without talking to her. She really wants to go through the box with them. She wants to go through the cleanse with them, talk to them the following week. So she's got a whole system that she does. So she really coaches them. And when you coach well and you get your people to have great results, another thing that happens is, number one, they stay on the products. Number two, they begin to share because they have great results. So even by osmosis, even if they're not coming here for the business, they'll start to share because people will start to notice and start to ask. So be sure you're utilizing that, you guys. And I still to this day use Healthy Mind and Body as well, because for so many people that are coming to us with health needs, really wanting to lose weight or just have better overall health, sometimes the mindset piece is the piece that's missing. So getting them to do that, where they make money doing that. They spend $39 to do the challenge, and when they're done, they get $45 in free products. So those are 2 things that I think will really help with retention. So you should be doing that and teaching your team to do that with all of their new people as well. And I really think you'll see some great results for that. Creating consultants. I think one of the easiest things to do for this is, who do you know that might want to do the program with you at that initial conversation. When you're taking that enrollment, whether you're sending the enrollment link, whether you're old-fashioned like me and you get their information and write it down on an enrollment form, that doesn't matter. But everyone that you're talking to, say to them, Lisa, who do you know that might want to do this program with you? Do you have a spouse that might want to go through the program with you? Do you have any accountability partners, anyone you work out with, anyone at work, if they work, that might want to do the program with you? Because it is so much more fun to get started with friends. So don't be afraid to ask that, you guys. You know, that is something that if we're not asking that question, how will they even know they can do this with friends? We've got to ask that. And then keeping in touch with them and saying, how are you doing? Have you had any results yet? And then my favorite question, has anyone noticed? Has anyone noticed? Because if people notice they're having results, they're going to ask what they're doing. And I'll say, listen, Lindsay, you don't have to do the business like I do, but if people are noticing and asking you about it, please hook me up with them. Put us in a 3-way chat and I'll be happy to get on the phone with them, talk to them about their goals, and I'll help them get started. But guess what? You're going to get the referral rewards because I want to see you getting your products for free. How does that sound? And do you think Lindsay's going to say, no, really, you know, getting products for free, I'm not interested in that? Of course not. She's going to be like, yeah, hey, that's great. And most often, and I mean, when I say most often, 95% of the time, when I get someone to that point and they get their ISA wallet card, they're asking me, okay, that's pretty cool. I just got this money. What was that for? And how can I get more? So be sure you're doing those things. The other thing is always going into your back office, looking for people who maybe have stored volume because they've been happy customers for a long time with you. And it doesn't even take a long time. Sometimes they're just happy customers for a few months. And then when they share with 2 people, they'll cycle a couple times, 3, 4, 5 times right off the bat because they've been ordering over 100 BV every month. So be sure you're going in your back office. Look at your reports, you guys. I get a report that tells me how many of you look at your downline reports, your blueprints. We don't have a ton of people looking at those. That's part of my morning habit. Every day I look at those downline reports, so I'm seeing what's going on in my business and I can really figure out who I need to be contacting and what I need to be doing. So be sure you're looking at those reports and talk to the people who have stored volume. Go into your back office, into your placement tree, click on personally enrolled, look at all of those people. If you don't know this little trick, when you are on the name column, if you click on the top, it'll alphabetize the name for you. If you click on the date joined, it'll get them in numerical order of the date they joined. So you can play with the columns and get it to look the way you want. I'll sometimes do it in alphabetical order, but then you can see who's there, who's ordering. You can click on them, go to their tree and see who might have stored volume, because that's a really great thing to be able to go to someone and say, listen, I haven't chatted with you for a while, Lou, but I just wanted to let you know I was in my back office today looking around, and I saw that you've got so much stored BV because you're such a great, happy customer that when you share with 2 people, you're going to cycle 5 times. And then I tell them how much that means in dollars. And I just say to them, do you have anyone that's been asking you about this? Do you have anyone that might be interested in doing this with you now that you've been on the program for a few months or a year or whatever the time is? So do that. So get in the habit of doing those things. So I'm hoping that between those couple of ideas, that gives you guys a few things to go on and to do. Make sure you're in action. I wanted to do 1 or 2 more quick things, and then I'm bringing Allison on. I decided to open up a quote book, and I'm just a firm believer in this stuff, that where I open it up is the quote I want to read to you guys, because for some reason this is what you need to hear tonight. So this is a Thomas Jefferson quote. Whenever you do a thing, act as if all the world were watching. And for me, I think of that with the daily habits I have in the morning. Like I'm serious about this business. I treat it like a business. I take it very seriously. So you guys have heard me say, even though it is my identity to work out every day, I don't skip a workout, I still have it written in my book. Every morning I come to my desk with my coffee. I have my quiet time. I go through my little list. I do what I need to do, posting on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, special groups that I want to post in, those morning habits. So if someone were watching, they would realize, all right, she does take this serious. She's not just, putting her feet up, watching TV all morning, watching Netflix, doing all of that. She really takes this seriously. So whenever you do a thing, act as if the world were watching. And then one more habit thing I wanted to share with you. Rachel Hollis, for those of you that are Rachel Hollis fans, she has a new 90-day group starting. So I don't know if you guys, has anyone ever participated in her 90-day stuff before? Oh, I might turn you guys on to something new. So I just thought, since we were doing the 90-day plan, I'd click on it and check into it. And someone had gifted me with her journal. And so I started today, and I went to the journal, and it makes you write 5 things you're grateful for every day and 10 dreams that I already made happen. And so that when I was doing this activity today, I'm like, oh, I've got to share this with you guys on the team call, because I've heard this, many times before. But when you're saying positive affirmations to yourself, when you have big goals with your 90-day action plan, saying things to yourself that it's already in a way that it's already happened. So whatever your 90-day goal is, I am a crystal executive. I am a 1-star golden circle. I am a 2-star golden circle. I have 2 crystal executives on my team, whatever it is for you. So I want you guys to think about that. Use your goals for this 90-day action plan and make some real good positive affirmations and write them down daily. So I went through her journal, and every day it's the same things. And you don't have to keep doing 10 different dreams unless you have that many. But what you see happening in your future in the next 10 years, she wants you to say as if it's already happened. So think of those big goals that you guys have for yourself. I am debt-free. I've traveled to Italy. Whatever your dream things are, your bucket list things, beyond even your 90-day action plans. Dream bigger, think bigger. I really want you guys to be thinking about that, acting as if it's already happened, because so much of this is our mindset and what we say and speak to ourselves. We were at a Lewis Howes Summit of Greatness event this weekend in Columbus, Ohio. That was absolutely fabulous. I went last minute, brought 2 people with me. Next year, I plan on bringing all of my local people with me, and I'm hoping a lot of you guys will travel for this event. People flew from different countries to this event. It was that good. And we had a speaker there, Marissa Peer, and she is amazing. She's another great person to follow if you need a podcast or a book to read. And she talks all about what we say to ourselves and how we really need to be speaking really well to ourselves, because they even gave examples like, would you say to your child, if your child messed up, horrible things to your child? That was stupid. Why did you say that? Absolutely not. But what do we say to ourselves when we mess up? We talk to ourselves so terribly. We say terrible things to ourselves. So it really makes you mindful when you're speaking positively about yourself, your goals, your business, where you're headed in your business. Really be mindful of what you're speaking and saying, not only to yourself, but to your friends. Make sure if you've got accountability partners, you're not chatting and saying negative things about, last week stunk, my cycles were down, so-and-so didn't sign up, I was waiting for them to sign up. Really think about what you're saying and put a positive spin on it, and really know that what you focus on, you find. What you focus on is real. What you focus on, you become. Really use that, guys, and take it very, very seriously. Speak well about your business. Make sure what you're saying and telling yourself and telling others is positive, so that your business can grow to the extent you're willing to grow with it. All right, without further ado, I'm going to have Allie come on with me. And thank you so much for being with us tonight, Allie. You guys, you all know her and love her, and she is such a great leader for our team. And we were talking today on the mastermind call about going to events on top of Isagenix events. So not in place of or instead of, still getting to the 4 core events, getting to all of those. But if you've got one in your area or one that you want to travel to, go. And so we were chatting, and Allie went to a really great one. It was in Arizona, right? In Phoenix?
Yeah.
And she was sharing a little bit with me today, and I asked her if she would share with you guys tonight. So thanks so much, Allie.
Oh, thanks for having me share this. I'm really excited. I do love what Cindy said, going to other events, investing in other sort of business and empowerment events outside of Isagenix. Always make those core 4 your first and foremost, but to have that additional outside fuel is really amazing because you can hear things in a different way, or like I'm going to the Eric Boria event with Cindy and many other people on this call in December. I went to it last year, and just hearing things from other people in other companies was huge and eye-opening for me. This one was really cool. It was for women entrepreneurs, and it was an empowerment event for women called Powerhouse Women, and it happened to be created by somebody who was once with Isogenic, so that was pretty cool. But there's so much to share, but what I want to share with you guys tonight is a little bit about Instagram. And the reason I think it's so important, even though it's a little bit different than what this week's topic is that when we are helping people rank advance, we're also teaching them skills. And so while this isn't about, retaining and necessarily rank advancing, when we learn the skills, we can pass it on to the people that we're helping and that we're coaching. And as some of us well know, people are moving, and I still value Facebook. I'm so glad we're here and we have our groups, but more and more people don't have Facebook accounts or are leaving Facebook or spending more time on Instagram. Instagram is really where it's happening right now. It's the most popular social media platform. And so there was a agency specialized in branding and marketing and public relations who gave some really awesome tips about Instagram. And so I'm going to share them with you. The first thing that they talked about was the Instagram algorithm. So much like we've heard about the Facebook algorithm, Instagram has an algorithm too. And it's built much on the time spent, how much time you spend on Instagram and who you're looking at. So, and what you're liking. If you're liking certain things, more of those things are going to show up in your feed. Really, the bottom line is, just like Facebook, you don't want to go in there and just mindlessly scroll. You want to go on and spend your social media time with intention if you're using it for marketing and networking. Your engagement, it goes to the first 10% of the people that you have interaction with first, before it moves on to the second 10%. Why is that important? Well, it's important if you're spending all of your time engaging with just other people on your team. That's who's seeing it. And we need to get out of that and move on to a new 10%. Okay? So that's not to say don't go and support your team members' posts. You still want to do that, but in a limited time that you set aside, maybe at the end of the day after you've done all the other things. So, take it back to Laura Stevens' video and training that she provided for us when we're doing a little bit of kiss, kiss, hug, hug on your potentials. You want to do that first. And I'm going to get to that actually in just a minute here. So it's going to go to the first 10%, then the next 10% interacts, and then they're on. So in 10% like tiers. The hacks to that are to be really consistent. Okay, we've heard that in everything that we do. Be consistent, be intentional with your time. You don't want to show up on Instagram and then disappear for like a week and then show up and post something. Consistent, what that means to you really, and I've heard a lot of other people, not necessarily just these professionals here, posting on Instagram. Consistent can even mean once every other day, but the stories, you want to be doing your stories every single day, because that's where people are really interacting and engaging with one another. So that daily, and then have some sort of consistent for you pattern for you for posting on Instagram. The next hack is meaningful words. Okay, so a lot of times we're like, yeah, you're the big yes, right? Or hey girl, yes girl, yes, right? You guys, that's not meaningful words. Love it, not meaningful words. What Instagram sees as meaningful words is in the comments, oh, I've been writing 5 or more. 3 or more words, not including emojis, is meaningful to Instagram. I've been going for 5. So take the time to put meaningful words with people that you want to engage with. And then when you're doing that, you want to comment meaningful words is the third hack on 10 to 15 different users a day. Okay, so just like we have our people on Facebook that we've talked about following up with, you have people that you're looking at as a prospect, a certain person that you want to engage. They're matching your avatar. You want to set aside time in your schedule and plan that time to go to their pages and comment on their posts meaningful words on 10 to 15 different users a day at minimum. So that is a hack. Those are the 3 hacks that they said for the algorithm. Next, they talked about digital trends that are being used with Facebook. And so this is something that you're going to see change. They're doing this right now in Canada due to so vanity metrics. Instagram is testing not having likes. So this is really interesting to me. They shared that because social media is such a great place to connect with people, it also can be a source of depression for people who are looking for value or self-affirmation from other people. And when they don't get the likes that they're looking for, they get really down on themselves. And so anyway, they call this vanity metrics. And because of vanity metrics, they're going to take the likes away, or at least they're testing it in certain countries, where you can just see the people who, you can see the names of people who liked it, but you're not going to be able to see the numbers of people who liked it, okay? So that's something that's happening. And then there's a lot, some of us that are here, I know that I've tried some different services that help with followers. Some people pay for engagements. That's being shut down. So I know some people have been contacted and said, somebody has your password, you need to change it. I recommend not going back to that. Instagram does not like any engagement that is inorganic. We just have to work really to increase our organic engagement. So the purchased and inorganic engagement, comment pods, I'm going to talk about that, manipulating engagement, those are triggering things from Facebook that will keep your posts from coming up through the other feeds. Okay, so what's a comment pod? A comment pod is essentially like what we're doing blitzing on Facebook in a way, right? A comment pod is when you're with a group of people that have agreed to just go and comment on every person's stuff. Now, first of all, it's not going to really work very well if people are just all commenting, yes, girl, yes, all over your posts, because again, it's not meaningful at all. And Instagram's going to figure that out. As a prospect, they're going to see what kinds of people, let's say, especially if you're looking for somebody to be a business partner with you, and they start looking at the engagement that you do have, and it all looks like fake comment pods, you lose trust with that, because it's very easy to tell that people are just commenting on you. So they just said, don't do comment pods. Just don't. But especially if you have comment pods within Instagram messages, within the DMs, they're going to shut you down. So you want to move, if you're going to do it, move it off of Instagram. So, but they say just stay away from the comment pods. Also, loop giveaways is a big trend. I'm sure you guys, have you ever seen it where you're like, go and if you want, we're giving away this Gucci bag, and if you love this Gucci bag, go to this person's page and follow them, and then follow the directions, and then you go there and they say, oh, go to this person's page, like it, and follow the directions. Have you guys done that? Anybody ever seen that before? No? Yeah, and then you, like 30 minutes later and 50 pages later, you're like, when do I win the Gucci bag? Okay, so that actually can get you into legal trouble with the lottery, they said. Now, I'm not going to repeat back the reasons why, because that blew me away. But here's what they say. When you are doing some sort of comment loop, if you're doing a giveaway, and you absolutely can do giveaways if you choose to do that, there needs to be consideration. That means there's something for something, which is usually like this page, comment, tag a person. Consideration, you're exchanging some sort of energy. For a chance, for a prize. Those are the 3 things. If you're gonna do this, only include 3 people, so people off the bat understand the investment involved, and they don't go spend the next 45 minutes liking 60 people's Instagram handles. But then this one was a hack. They said, which is just really important, do things that ask for engagement. So call to action is what they talked about. The call to action, ask a question so that people engage, meaningful engagement with you, meaningfully engage back, so that there is this algorithm being tripped by your engagement. Let's see. Okay, and then they were talking about some common mistakes. And I've heard this one by a lot of leaders from Instagram before. Every platform could shut down tomorrow. So we spend a lot of time working on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and other social media platforms, but they could all be gone. which we know that's why you want to build relationships so that you can talk to more people. But in Instagram, that's such a big world. You want to have a way to collect information. So if all these platforms lead, you know who to follow up with, right? They don't just disappear, all your leads and people that you have on your prospect list. So one of the things that I've heard, not at the event on Saturday, but in other places, at the very least, where it says link, have an email address where people can reach out to you. And even in your tagline, maybe something free that you're going to give them should they send you an email. So there's this exchange. And then you can collect emails that way. But they were saying have a website. So having a website, I don't want anybody to freak out about that. If you don't have a website, it doesn't going to make or break you. But for those of you who are ready to have a little bit more, have a website or a landing page where people can put in and you can collect those email addresses. That being said, you want to make sure that you have a privacy policy and disclosure so that they know what you're going to be doing with that information. Then secondly, another thing to keep in mind is hashtags. Hashtags can be super fun, right? And a lot of people have said you need to have 8 to 30 hashtags with every post on Instagram so people can find you. But inadvertently, what we do is we tend to attract people that are already in our field. Have you guys noticed that? You just attract other people either within Isogenics or some other health-related network marketing company or just other network marketing companies. We tend to just attract other vendors instead of clients. So this brings us back to our avatar. So we've had some trainings on creating your avatar, what that person looks like, what are their pain points. If you can think about your avatar, their pain points, their life that they live, what hashtags would they use? And those are the hashtags that you want to use so that you're drawing in your avatar rather than somebody else already doing the same thing that you do. Does that make sense? That was kind of like a wake-up call for me. That being said, your hashtags also must be relevant to the post. Okay, so if you put up a selfie of you by the pool and then you write, I don't know, or a picture of your cat and then you're like nutritional cleansing or something, those aren't relevant at all. And so there has to be some relevancy between what you're sharing and what the hashtag is. Bottom line there. Or Instagram will tag that and not put you in. You know how when you go into Discover and they put up all these Discover with hashtags that you use, your post won't show up there anymore if you keep posting irrelevant hashtags. So I'm going to leave it at that and not go into the story brand telling, but hopefully you guys got some value from that because it's a little bit different than some of the things that we've learned at other Instagram trainings, and can kind of work that into how you're moving forward with your posts and your social media networking.
While you are getting ready to move on to the next topic, I want to reiterate one big thing you said. When I studied with Scott Aaron on LinkedIn and went through his training and read his book, that's one of the things he said. He still posts on Facebook. He still uses Instagram, of course, but that was one of the reasons he started working on LinkedIn too, because he wanted another platform just in case. And he knows, same thing could probably happen there too, but he also told me everyone is teaching and preaching get emails. So be sure you guys are collecting them. And like Allison said, it's not something you need to stress yourself out about, but you could even be putting them in an Excel spreadsheet for now. But try to make sure you've got your clients' phone numbers and their emails at least, just in case. I mean, just protect yourself. It's just smart to do. All right, Allie, ready for the stories?
Do you want me to go on with that? It's 5:30.
Well, if you have time, how long do you think it'll take you?
Oh, I me, I can talk forever. But it'll only take me probably like 10 minutes.
I'd say let's go for it. I think that's valuable. They'll enjoy that.
Okay, awesome. All right, so how many times have you had a picture? You've got a picture, you're like, this is going to go great with my post, but what the heck am I going to say? Does anybody ever stress out about the captioning? Right? I know that that's hard for people. And not every caption, not everything that we post has to be like really huge, but once or twice a week, we're doing more of a powerful post so people know what we have to offer and how we can help them with their solutions, right? So there was another person there who was an entrepreneur in the health and lifestyle industry as well, but she's a StoryBrand certified guide and copywriter. And so she shared these tips. So first of all, people buy what they understand the most quickly. Okay, what they understand quickly, that's what they're more likely to buy. And we've heard that before. A confused mind says no. So if they don't know what's going on, they're not going to buy it. And so actually, our human brain for the last 2,000 years has been conditioned to recognize a story format as something that we should pay attention to, right? You hear a story, you're just listening, right? And so when you're sharing, you want to try to share your power posts in a story framework. The thing to remember here, and I struggle with this a lot, your brand is not the hero, it's the guide, and I'll explain what that means. So you guys are muted, but you can still kind of play along. I'm going to try to come up with something here off of the cuff. So when I go like this, you're going to say your name out loud, all right? You got it? Okay. Once upon a time, there was a super cool person named, I only saw a couple of people like say their name. Once upon a time, there's a super cool person named
Lori.
and
Allie
had a really, really great idea. However, every single time that
the kids walked in.
I don't have to hear you. I just want to see your faces. Tried to put that idea into action. She couldn't get anywhere. All of a sudden she heard all the voices of doubt inside her. But she had this huge vision of what life could look like if only she had more free time and she could pay off this debt. She was under so much stress. One day, noticed that her friend Lori looked so happy. Everything that she was sharing, she looked like she was super healthy all the time, and she was sharing recipes of healthy snacks, and she looked like a freaking snack. And on top of that, she also shared that she just paid off all her credit card bills. So she reached out to Lori, and Lori told about this amazing opportunity with a holistic health and wellness company called Isagenix. Sorry, I'm making this off the top of my head. So Lori showed her how to use Isagenix to get her health back in order, to pay off her debt so she can move forward with this amazing dream. And Lori helped her to put the plan into action. And as a result, has paid off 50% of her debt already and has more time. I don't know. I just had it in that really quick because I was like, okay, this is not going anywhere, Allie. You're not so good at this. But here's the deal. So it starts out with a character. Okay, so you've got a character in the story. And the character is the hero. So whether you're sharing about yourself, you can even be saying like, 4 years ago, I was napping every afternoon. And by the time it was time for dinner with my family, I was so grouchy and irritable that I just really couldn't even spend time with them. I wasn't showing up as my best self. Even though you're the character here, that doesn't make you the hero. But, you know, if I'm reaching out to Lori to talk about, she introduces me to Ionix. Ionix is the guide, or Isagenix is the guide who gives me the plan. Okay, let me start this over. So character is number 1. 2, there's a problem. Okay, tired, stressed out with debt. 3, meets a guide. So in my story, you guys met Lori. Lori was the guide who gave them a plan. The plan was Isagenix, and calls them to action. So I kind of glazed over that. Let's say who got her started on amazing nutrition and helped her reach out to 2 friends. Okay, that results in, and it's going to result in either a success or a failure. But we want to explain how we help them avoid failure. So like it said, here's a tip here. Compelling movies show us the dire consequences of the hero losing. So if your customer isn't risking something by not working with you, there's no reason to work with you. So they got to know, like, if they didn't follow the guide, they might struggle on their own and never reach this. They might just keep spinning their wheels. But as a result, they're paying off their debt. They're feeling amazing. They're improving their relationships with their kid and spouse. Do you guys understand where I'm going with that? So that's a lot, just like blurted out at you. But this comes from a book called Building a Story Brand, which I can Google the author right now. I don't know who it is. And I've been to a Super Saturday where Angelique Nori has trained on this too. Now, of course, you wouldn't want every single post to be like this, but this is really helpful for a good power post. Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Mad Libs, totally. Okay, do you guys have any questions about any of the stuff I just threw at you?
What I was going to say is that a lot of that story building we do talk about and cover at UIA too, you guys. So if any of you are really struggling with that, that's another reason for you to get to UIA, because they really teach you and they change it up. I mean, when I went to my first UIA, the way we told our 30-second story was very different than how we tell it today. So if that's something you really want some practice with, do what Allie said, certainly follow those guidelines and put your story together and practice on people, practice on your family, practice on friends, practice on your, goal buddies here in this group on our team.
I have a question for Allie.
Okay. Yeah, go, Jody.
So I'll just say it right out. I suck at Instagram. That is not my platform at all.
Well, what makes you say that, first of all?
One, I hate writing. This is the creative writer next to me. And so out of convenience and not taking the time to learn Instagram and seeing a ton of other people do this as well, what is the difference of sharing your same story on Facebook and Instagram, since they're linked by the same company, versus writing two different stories?
Oh, the only difference is your audience.
So do you write completely different stories, or do you do the same ones?
I do the same stories. What I post on Instagram, I post on Facebook most of the time. If I change anything, I may change the pictures, because I feel like I want my Instagram grid to look a certain way, and Facebook can be a little bit different. I may do more posts on Facebook in a day, and I keep my posts on Instagram to once a day, and try to maintain more information within my stories.
I found, just because I joined an Instagram month-long challenge thing that, there's people out there that do it. It was like $30, and it helped me stay accountable. And they give you ideas of what to post every day and what, but I mean, not like words, just like tell a story about, something like that. And they were really huge, like Allie said, on asking questions to engage your audience. And that was the thing I was not doing, because it didn't come naturally to me. It felt weird, probably because I just wasn't used to it. And I guess on Facebook, I don't have to ask as many questions to get engagement, just because I naturally get engagement over there. More of my people are over there still. But on Instagram, I have to ask the questions because I don't know these people, a lot of them, so that's the only way that you're going to get there. They've also said, and I never used to do this, that you don't have to create more content, but it's a good idea to share it, even though I don't always do this. Not the same post at the exact same time on all your platforms, kind of mix it up a little bit. So you could use a post that you've used in the past. Doesn't mean you have to create new content and put it on Instagram, because that way you'll get people that are on both platforms possibly following you on both platforms, instead of why should they, if they're on both, why do they need to check both if they notice that you put the exact same thing up all the time? Now, I need to work on that.
Yeah, I was like, I never realized that, but yeah, I guess
I never thought of that until they said that, so.
That reminds me of one quick thing too, just to keep in mind, because it's really easy to just start scrolling through and looking at things, or especially I do it sometimes on days when normally writing is really easy for me. That's just kind of my thing. I can write, I love it. But there's other days where maybe I'm just not at the same energy level and I can't think. And so I do look for inspiration and I save things for inspiration. Be careful with that. I mean, not just because of the algorithm, because you're just going to see more people within isogenics or whatever, but when you get into this place where you don't know what to create, pay attention to how much you're consuming. You may need to stop reading other people's, because unconsciously you might be busy comparing yourself to other people and then being like, oh, I can never write that. Oh my gosh, I would never have thought of that. And you just get overwhelmed in your head. You want to create 3 times as much as what you consume. Create more than you consume in everything. And just focus on the value from within you that you can give, and then go back and see what other people are saying.
So awesome. So awesome. And thank you guys for answering the questions in the chat. There were some really great questions in there. So that was awesome. I want to give you one more idea, because as Allie was just sharing that with you guys, and then when Lori piped in, it really reminded me, I some days feel so creative and it's easy to do a post. Other days I have no idea. And so what Jody said, I know so many of you, I saw other people say, I suck too. All right. So there's things to do. If you feel that way, first of all, let's reframe that. I'm great on Instagram, make sure you're reframing that, but know that there's places to turn and you can do things very, very inexpensively. There is someone, her name is Allie B. Jerk, A-L-L, I'll type it in the chat, A-L-L-I-E-B Jerk. I went to her website. Someone on somewhere I heard of her. I think I spent $17 to download ideas for every single day to do lives, because I knew I wanted to go live more. But so many of them can be posts as well. I ended up for $17. I got so many ideas, you guys. And so, like, for example, there's one that she does for health and wellness providers. So it could be, I could go live on this, or I could do a post on what work-life balance looks like for me, on the hardest lesson I've had to learn about wellness, on the 5 tips I use to keep my general wellness high. So if you feel like this is an area you struggle with, there are so many answers for you. Don't feel like, because you're older, maybe, because young people seem to be so good on Instagram. Maybe if you're a little older like me, you're feeling like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start. Don't feel that way. Don't let yourself go there. There are so many even free resources for you to get ideas on what to post, what makes a good post, and then you can just kind of word it in your own words. But I wanted to share that with you guys too. Awesome.
One other thing I do as far as content, because I know people struggle with, I do too. I could never think of something every day on all these different platforms. So you guys, a lot of you have been doing this long enough that do you check your on this day on Facebook, what you posted a year ago? I copy and paste those over to a separate Facebook group and I save them all. And then also sometimes I think of ideas for a post, or I create it, but it's not like the right time, or I'm inspired by something Cindy posts, but I'm not going to copy and paste what she posted, but it gives me inspiration for an idea. Those are all thrown in a Facebook group with only me in it. And the great thing about that is then when I need inspiration, or say I want to put something about freedom and it's Friday, then I put a search in freedom or Freedom Friday. And then all the posts on that topic that I've saved come up on it. And then I tweak them from there, but at least I have something to work with instead of, sometimes you have the idea already, but when I don't, I save them. And last note, what I'll notice is a lot of things I used to post in the beginning are things I would put more in HHP now, not things I would put on my timeline, like transformation after transformation, or just more of the health Nazi stuff. That's what I was doing. I would put that in HHP now, and that gives me a lot of ideas. I pull those over and put them in HHP. So
you guys, I want to add one more thing to that too. I'm so sorry, we're running so long now, but Lori just made me think of this too. Batch creating. So if you have a day, let's say you've listened to a podcast or whatever, you're just in a great mood, you're thinking of all these things you want to say. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the shower and I'm like, I'm going to write about this and I'm going to write about that. So I need to get the shower note thing for sure. But anyway, sometimes you're thinking of all these ideas. Batch create. When you're feeling it, go ahead and create tons of content. And then, like Lori said, you can put it in that Facebook group. You can download schedulers for Instagram that help you kind of plan everything out. You can't do that for Facebook anymore, but there is. Somebody just told me, I downloaded it. Oh, Planoly, Planoly. I haven't started using it yet. But so you can batch create and then load everything up or save it someplace. I've been writing things in my notes on my iPhone, which is easy, and then I can just copy and paste and put it on put it on there whenever I want to use it. But if you batch create, it's going to help you so much on those more non-creative days.
That's awesome. All right. I know we went a little bit off topic tonight, you guys, but I thought this was an amazing call. Thank you so much for sharing, Allison and Lori. I always appreciate when you pipe in too with all of your knowledge. And I know like so many of you guys have great ideas. So if you want to share, please reach out to me, because there's nothing I would like better than really featuring some of our leaders and letting you guys share what's really working for you. And Allie, thank you so much for giving of your time so last minute like this to help us. You were awesome. And I loved all your creativity and all your great ideas, and hope it was a great call for all of you guys. We'll see you on week 5 next week. Have a great night, you guys. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much, everybody.